Hey everyone, welcome to season 3. This is Shauna.
And this is Rosalina, and we're your hosts for Too Young for This Shit podcast. This podcast is not just about boobs, but a journey with cancer. We are young millennials, open about giving you our raw and unfiltered look into our lives. We are in no way medical professionals, nor are we offering medical advice. Any medical references are cited directly from public websites or from our personal diagnosis. Some topics and stories may be triggering to those who are fighting, have fought, or have loved someone with cancer.
Hey, this is Shauna. Welcome back. We've made it to our final voice memo episode for the month of October. This week, we are highlighting some survivors in the community. We asked the question, what is it like to be a survivor? And what advice would you give to those who have been diagnosed? These are the great submissions we received.
Hello, please leave a message after the tone.
Hey, Rosalina and Shauna, it's Angel Toe. I love your podcast and I'm really enjoying season 3. Survivor is a title that many of us never expected to carry, and yet now maintain for the rest of our lives. I'm almost a year out from diagnosis, and I'm learning that survivorship involves long-term treatment while continuing to understand and process the many impacts cancer has had on my life. Here's my advice to those who have been diagnosed. 1. Write everything down. Cancer patients are constantly overloaded with information, so use your notes app, record voice memos, or pen and paper to keep track of appointments, medications, and so on. 2. You're your greatest advocate. Listen to your gut and stand up for what's best for you with your care team and support system. You have the power to make your own decisions and change your mind at any point in time. 3. Give yourself grace. Remember, healing takes time and is not linear. 4. It's okay to ask for help. I actually found being more specific in how I wanted people to show up for me to be more beneficial. 5. Speaking of, letting someone in on what you're going through is a choice and not an obligation. Acknowledging that difference for me has been key. And lastly, know that you're not alone. This podcast and the online breast cancer community has been immensely helpful to me in providing encouragement and support. We're here ready to welcome you with open arms.
Hey, my name is Jasmine Sowers, and survivorship is an evolution that I absolutely did not anticipate. I think when you're going through it, you're in the midst of it all, it's really difficult to imagine a life where you don't need all the supports and people and all the appointments, all those different things that have really held you up for so long. It's really hard to imagine life after that. But one of the things that I noticed as I got further away from my diagnosis is that more and more I want less and less of my life to revolve solely around cancer. And for many years, it did. I think it's because I realized I had a choice for my life to not revolve so much around cancer. And I recognize that that choice is an absolute privilege. But in recognizing that I had a choice, it allowed me to see that cancer didn't have to be the whole purpose or the entire mission. It can just be an assignment. I didn't have to abandon any of the dreams or ideas that I had before cancer or any other dreams or ideas that I had after cancer that aren't related to cancer. So it's okay to need different things in different seasons. Don't pigeonhole yourself into doing or being one thing always and forever. And don't get caught up in the comparison trap, trying to compare where you are on your journey to where other people are on theirs. Truly give yourself the room and freedom to bloom into someone that is beautiful and unique at your own pace.
Hi, I'm Marika Cole. A lot of people know me by Lisa as well. What it's like to be a survivor for me is that I now have a role and responsibility to educate others and advocate for other young Black and brown women who will also inevitably receive a breast cancer diagnosis, as 1 in every 8 women will be diagnosed with breast cancer. As a survivor, I constantly advocate for myself and others in all aspects of my life. Being a survivor has become a platform for me to share my purpose and passions with others. Before cancer, I was a young 36-year-old working mother of a 4-year-old son. I enjoyed exercise and spending time with friends and family. And now as a survivor, I still enjoy the same things, but with a different overall view. Life can be short, so I'm intentional now in how I live, intentional about having a positive outlook on life, about having peace, and not dwelling in those hard moments when I look at my body and I see the scars from my surgeries. Although those sad moments come, I'll allow myself to feel them but not stay in them. And the advice I would give to those who've been diagnosed is you're not alone. Take this time to take care of you, put on your boxing gloves, and come out swinging. Do not allow this diagnosis to get you down or to make you even feel like you did something wrong. Show your cancer that you will do everything you can to come out victorious on your terms. It's personal for us, and there's someone out there who looks like you who is willing and ready to go through this journey with you. So use your resources like the Too Young for This Shit podcast and know that you got this.
Honestly, I would tell anybody that is diagnosed with breast cancer to prepare to fight. Prepare to fight, but also make the commitment right now upon that diagnosis that you are going to go into this 10 toes down. You are committed because you want to live. You want to continue to live on this earth. You want to be there for your family, for your nieces, for your nephews, for your mom, your dad, your loved ones, maybe your partner. You have a fight to fight, but the fight is bigger than you. It's for you to get through the other side, and it's for you to turn around and pull somebody else out of this. It's not going to be an easy journey whatsoever, but you have the ability. God has already equipped you. God has already equipped you. You are already a conqueror. You are already victorious. So walk in your authority of that victory. Walk in your authority of what God has already said about you. Don't even claim that diagnosis as yours. It is not yours. It is the diagnosis. I was so intentional about that because let me tell you something. There are power in words. Your words are so powerful. So speak life over yourself. Speak healing over yourself. Speak victory over yourself. And make sure you have a community of people that are speaking the same exact thing over you and around you. Anyone that is not has to go. They have to go. Or you just have to put them on pause like a good TV show on Netflix.
Hi, my name is Callie Bonds, and I am a triple negative breast cancer and papillary thyroid cancer survivor. For me, being a survivor is constantly changing, and I've realized survivorship looks different for each person. I've been in remission since February 2022, and in the last year and a half, survivorship has changed many times. The first few months were by far the hardest. It felt like my life paused during treatment while everyone else kept living, and I stepped back into a world that was completely foreign to me. Those who had been around during treatment slowly started to fade back into their regular lives, and the support around me did get smaller and smaller. Very quickly, I realized that my life was never going back to the normal that I expected from before, so I spent a lot of time trying to figure out what that meant for me. A lot of that first year was spent spending time with my family and getting through reconstruction surgeries that I'm still going through. I do often mourn who I was and a lot of the people that were in my life before cancer, but I've been celebrating what I've overcome and who I'm becoming. I realized that I want to enjoy the life that I fought so hard to have and be proud of how far I've come. I wasn't too open about my experiences with cancer until some close to me were misdiagnosed. So that lit a fire in me, made me reevaluate going through cancer and survivorship behind closed doors. Survivorship currently is learning how to love my body that betrayed me, but also fought so hard to be here. Enjoying my life now while building a future and sharing my experiences and knowledge so that I may help just even one person. The biggest piece of advice that I can give someone who just got diagnosed is to advocate for yourself and empower yourself. We are in charge of our own health and must use our voices to ensure our health is taken seriously. And also to just take each day as it comes. Some days are overwhelming and some days you won't want to get out of bed, but that doesn't mean the next day will be the same. You will have good days, and there's an entire community behind you whenever you need them.
I'm about a year and a half out from my diagnosis, and I still feel like I'm trying to get my footing. To the outsider, it might look very much like, oh my gosh, she beat cancer, she's living her best life, all these things. But baby, I'm on the struggle bus. I don't really know that I ever got off, and that's okay. I don't know when I will feel like, wow, I've completely left that behind me. I don't know if I will ever feel that way, and that's okay as well because cancer really, really changes you. And getting to know this person after is equally as important as all the years that you had pre-diagnosis. So I would say give yourself grace. Not every day is going to be amazing. There are going to be amazing days. You will have joy and you will have laughter and all that will be restored. But also just remember to be kind to yourself because days are still hard. And a lot of times you don't fully feel at home in your body or fully recognize that person that you are. So just take it day by day, get to know that person, love them because they are worthy, And hopefully when I'm like 5 years out, I will have a new perspective. But this is where I'm at about a year and a half out. All right. Thanks, guys.
A very special thank you to all these survivors that shared their stories with the community. I want to mention that we did put a call out for Stage 4 Thrivers to share their stories and experiences, but did not receive any submissions to air the episode. We know October can be very heavy and hard for some in the community, and we're all just trying to get through it the best we can. We will be leaving the voice message link active for any Stage 4 Thriver who would like to submit later down the line. We hope to air any submission we receive by the end of the season. I just want to say again how grateful we are to all the incredible submissions we received and for everyone that took the time to make these episodes possible. Your voices are powerful and give hope to so many. A very special thanks to our podcast producer, Bethany Allard, and our podcast editor, Ayla Anderson.
Thank you all for listening and supporting our podcast. Sharing our stories with you has been incredibly healing for both of us, and we hope it helps other women in their journeys through breast cancer.
Ladies, if you enjoyed this episode, please share it with your friends and fellow breasties. Help us reach more women by subscribing and rating us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and now on YouTube. You can follow us on Instagram at TYFTS Podcast and email us at tyftspodcast@gmail.com. We love hearing from you guys, so shoot us a message. We will link any resources from the episode in our show notes.